We have all been there. You know the feeling. That one sink in the house just starts draining a little bit slower. It's so frustrating. But what is really going on down there in your pipes? Well, in this explainer, we're going to follow that problem from the very first gurgle all the way to a real permanent solution. So let's just dive right in, because honestly, the answer is usually way more complicated than you'd think. Is it just last night's dinner, a bunch of hair, or could it be something else completely? We are going to get to the bottom of this whole slow drain mystery.
And this is where it always begins, right? You see it, you kind of sigh, and you just hope that maybe it'll just clear itself up. A total classic case of wishful thinking. But of course, they almost never fix themselves. And that, my friends, is how a tiny little nuisance can spiral into a full-blown household nightmare. Okay, this is the first real red flag, that smell. All of a sudden, that slow drain isn't just a little annoying. Nope, that's the smell of a problem that's actually getting worse, not better.
So maybe you try a home remedy, pour some stuff down there, and hey, it works. For a day, maybe two, but then it's back. That frustrating cycle is a massive sign that you're only treating a symptom, not the actual cause of the problem. And here we are, the absolute worst case scenario. This is what everyone dreads. That little problem has officially become a messy, super stressful, and potentially really damaging emergency that you just cannot ignore anymore.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? Putting off a real fix usually means more money and more stress down the road. So what is actually hiding in those pipes?
You know, what's so interesting is that a clog is almost never just one thing. It's usually a combination of culprits all working together. So in the kitchen, you might have grease buildup and food scraps. In the bathroom, it's usually hair and soap scum. And sometimes you've got bigger issues hiding out, like tree roots that have snuck into the line, or even mineral scaling that's slowly narrowing the pipes over the years. And this right here, this explains perfectly why those DIY fixes just don't last. A household chemical, it might burn a little hole through a clog, temporarily fixing the symptom. But a professional diagnosis, that gets to the root cause. It's about checking the overall health of the pipe to find a real long-term solution. So how do the pros actually find that root cause? Well, they've got this specialized toolkit that lets them see what we can't. It's like they're drain detectives. Here's how their process actually works. It's really a logical three-step method. First, they do an assessment. They listen to you, they hear the history of the problem. Then comes the really cool part, a video inspection, to literally see inside the pipe. All of that leads to a super precise diagnosis of the exact location and the nature of the problem. No more guesswork. I'm telling you, the video camera inspection is a total game changer. Imagine a tiny, waterproof camera on a long cable getting fed right into the drain. It sends a live video feed back to the technician. They can see exactly what's going on, whether it's just some grease or if the pipe itself is cracked, corroded, or, even being invaded by tree roots. So once they know what the problem is, they can pick the right tool for the job. And for some serious buildup, hydrojetting is incredibly effective. This isn't just about poking a hole through the clog. Think of it like pressure washing the inside of your pipes. It uses high-pressure water to scour everything clean, removing years of gunk and basically restoring the pipe to full health. And that right there is the fundamental difference. A pro's goal isn't just to get the water flowing again today. It's to clean and diagnose the system the right way so that you're not calling them for the exact same problem in just a few months. But what happens when that video camera shows that the problem isn't just a clog? Well, that's when you have to make the right call for the long haul. Okay, this is a really important distinction to understand. Clearing a clog, that removes a blockage. But repairing a pipe, that fixes structural damage. We're talking cracks or even a full collapse. One restores the flow for now, but the other, that restores the long-term reliability of the whole system. So how can you just avoid these problems altogether? Well, it really comes down to a simple prevention playbook. Be mindful of what you're putting down the drain, especially grease. Think about getting some periodic maintenance done, especially for high-use drains. And most importantly, act on those early warning signs, the gurgling sounds or that first slow drain. And if you do need to call for help, how do you choose the right person? I mean, it's not just about fixing a clog. It's about trusting somebody with a really critical system in your home. So here are the key things to look for. Are they communicating clearly? Explaining the problem in a way you actually understand? Can they show you the proof, the documented findings from their camera? Do they lay out your options and the costs clearly without any high-pressure sales tactics? Are they committed to safety and protecting your home while they work? And finally, do they give you some guidance to help you avoid future problems? A real pro does all of that. So let's end with this thought. We usually treat our drains with this reactive, quick-fix mentality. But what if we started thinking of them as a complex system? Like a car's engine that actually benefits from a proactive checkup. Shifting that mindset just might be the key to avoiding that whole plumbing nightmare in the first place.